Hello, I'm Alistair James and welcome back to Biz Basics. This week we're going to be talking about globalisation. The attacks in Paris last week shocked the world, and the impacts are going to be felt for some time to come as people begin to recover and rebuild. Events like this very often have a ripple effect on the business world. This is known as globalisation. As the attacks happened on a Friday, markets and analysts had the weekend to consider the impact and make their predictions as to what kind of impact this would have. As the world woke up on Monday, markets dropped. French stocks dropped 1.1%, an expected fall following the attacks, and French stock exchanges lost 51 points. There are fears that the biggest sectors to be hit are going to be tourism and retail, but these impacts will not be felt right away. Tourism in France accounts for 7.5% of GDP, and given that France is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world, this could have a very dramatic impact on business there. But the economic impacts are not going to be felt just in France. Markets around the world have been reacting as investors begin to look to more stable and secure assets like gold. In Hong Kong, markets dropped 1.6%, although this was partly due to the recession in Japan. All of this relates to globalisation, and what this means is that an event taking place in one part of the world can and will likely have a substantial impact elsewhere due to economic connections and networks. A hurricane, for example, could devastate crops or commodities, leading to an increase in prices as supply becomes more limited. Then there are insurance payouts for damages, which raises insurance premiums, making it more expensive to insure transportation of goods, and prices begin to rocket even more. Governments then begin to panic, they raise their interest rates to cover inflation, which then affects anyone who has a loan or a mortgage. In presidential elections, especially in the US, markets and analysts make predictions based on what candidates state as their economic policies. Where economic policies stand to change, the eyes of the world will always be watching to see what implications there will be for everyone else. In time, investors will regain their confidence, but the immediate effects have been relatively low-key, showing an immunity of markets these days, and it is believed impacts will be short-lived. That's it for another week. Don't forget to follow The Basics of Business on Twitter at BasicOfBusiness, on Facebook at facebook.com/TheBizBasics, and you can also find us on Stellar at The Basic of Business, and of course you can follow the blog at basicsofbusinessblog.wordpress.com. See you next week.